There's something that you mentioned in the book, voting, uh, what it used to be about 100 years ago, especially for women, black women, they were not allowed to vote, but
Yeah.
now women can vote and black people can vote and things like that. You mentioned a little bit about your experience of your dad around that. But then my question now is there a connection between that situation then and the fact that it's very difficult to even have a female president?
Uh,
It's in America, or even another black president. Is this is there a connection?
um, I think, Tolu, that there is still a lot of bias that exists within the United States. There's no mistaking that. Um, because a lot of times, if we really want to ensure that the most qualified person gets the role, when you look at people's backgrounds, we should be able to say, yes, clearly this woman has a very sound background, or this person of color has a very sound background historically. They have the skills, they have the capabilities, they have the experience, but something gets in the way of them being able to get on that platform. There's an example of um, the Philharmonic, the orchestra, and they were having trouble getting women in the orchestra, and so they'd have tryouts and everything, and it was like I think it was 70-80%. I can't remember the exact figure, men. And so what they moved to was blind auditions. So they'd close the curtain, and the person who was coming into audition for the orchestra, you couldn't see them, you just heard them play. And so they then would pick people based on their how they sound, you know, and that was it.
Yeah,
And over the course of several years, they were able to increase the female representation in the orchestra because they weren't caught in the bias of what was going through their mind when they saw a woman come up on the stage to audition. And so that's an example of something that, if we can take the bias out of the systems that are responsible for putting people in certain positions, um, I think we could do a lot better. And that's that fence that I was talking about it
yeah,
earlier in our discussion. That's the systemic and institutional things that they didn't happen overnight, and it's going to take longer to sort of pull those apart and take the bias out of the systems and the institutions and society as a whole. We have a while to get there because, there's a lot of education, a lot of awareness, a lot of soul searching that needs to happen in America to be able to get there.
good, good, girl.